Bendición, papi y mami. Les hablo hoy desde Cherokee, North Carolina. Es el pueblo de los indios Cherokee de los Estados Unidos, de aquí de Native American Cherokee Indians. Estamos, pues, voy a voltear la cámara, vean, y estamos aquí en el medio de las montañas azules. Se llaman the Blue Mountains. Estamos aquí, ahí está el museo y les voy a dar un paseo. Aquí hay unas personas tocando música, pero quería para que vean un poco de este pueblo. Este pueblo se llama Cherokee. Vamos a ver. Y allí se ve el indio. Me tengo que poner la máscara. Parece que sí, pero vamos a ver. El Cherokee Indian Museum. Voy a ponerme las llaves aquí. ¿Ve? Cherokee Indian Museum of the Cherokee Indian. Please put your mask on before entering the lobby. So vamos a preguntarle aquí a alguna gente qué están haciendo aquí. Okay.
So what I'm doing today, I'm actually making a net for, this is actually made of hemp twine. It's a cordage we were using a long time ago, and I use them to put in my sticks for what's called stick ball.
Ajá.
And it's like a game like lacrosse,
Sí.
where you pick the ball up, and instead of throwing the ball with the cup, you're actually going to transport it to your hand and then throw it to somebody else.
With your hand?
Yes.
Ah.
So the only rules of stickball are you cannot pick it up with your hand, like pick it up off the ground, or catch it with your hand. The ball has to go into the cup before you can transport it to your hand. And think of lacrosse, but no pads, shoes, or helmets. You're adding in mixed martial arts, wrestling, rugby, and it's an indigenous sport that we've been playing for hundreds, if not possibly thousands of years. And the original intent of the game was to settle disputes. So if there's an argument between tribes or even like clans or whatever within the tribe, they would play the game, and whoever won the match, whoever won the game, won the argument. So oftentimes it would have just been over an argument. Even at points, there would be over hunting grounds.
Yeah.
And so, like up north of Alabama, archaeological findings, there are Cherokee things, but when they start digging lower, they start to find Creek stuff.
Okay.
So that's when, somewhere in that time, within the past 1,000 years, it became Cherokee territory.
Yeah.
And so, even today, we covered up parts of 8 modern day states.
Yeah.
Some say even 9.
What are those states, dear?
You're looking at both Carolinas, North and South Carolina.
Yeah.
Virginia, West Virginia, Tennessee, Kentucky, Alabama, and Georgia.
Wow.
And our trade networks went all the way up north to Canada. Far west is Texas, and as far south as South America. And we met up with tribes all over, whether it be the Iroquois tribes, whether it be the Mohawk, Seneca, or south being the Choctaw, Chickasaw, and Creeks, west possibly being Osage, as well as the just various tribes, Mayan, Aztec people, even Taino possibly at one point.
That's me.
So, and this is stuff that we do.
Yeah.
And we don't think of it as a job at times, because this is stuff we either do at home.
It's not a job.
Just enjoy doing it. We're practicing our culture.
Yeah.
But I'm Jarrett. This is Nola.
Hi, Nola.
Finger weaving.
Okay.
And hers is I guess you could say a newer style.
Yeah.
Going back possibly at least 500 years, where the version I'm doing or have here.
Mira qué lindo, mami.
this form goes back at least almost 10,000 years in the
Wow.
archaic era.
And the string is made out of, well, this is yarn.
Yeah, this is just
that's
your regular yarn.
Uh-huh.
This stuff came in after European contact when we started trading for like wool and cotton.
Uh-huh.
Pre-contact, we were using plant fibers like hemp, as you mentioned, dog bane,
Esto es hemp.
grapevine,
Okay.
the innards of poplar bark, just a variety of different plants that we would strip down and then turn into the strings that we used. And then also we would use different animal furs,
Sí.
such as like buffalo hair, dog hair, bear hair. I believe there's an account that talks about us using possum hair.
Yeah.
And we would do kind of the same technique when you're spinning wool to get our fibers.
Yeah. And is that kind of like a braiding technique?
It's a weaving technique, so it's something similar that you would see on a loom. The only difference is that I use my hands. So I separate it in the middle, like so. Once I do that, I separate my green and my red here.
Yep.
I take this green and I just work it all the way across by moving that red down, and then up, and then down, and then up. I just do that all the way across.
So the green is going this way. I see. Okay. And what about the town here in Cherokee? This you guys live here in Cherokee? And tell me a little bit about the waters that are going through the town.
So the main river that most people will see, that's called the Oconaluftee. Oconaluftee. It's more of an English corrupted word. So it would originally be pronounced Oconaluftee. So no F sound, but there's a K, a C sound, CK sound. So Oconaluftee. The cleanest version I can give you of that word, because there's a little story behind it. Something to do with these stickball players. So when we went to the river, you didn't have to worry about modesty back then. You just took off your breechcloth and went in the river and cleaned.
Yeah.
And that was it. I guess there was a lady that was watching the men bathe, and I guess she talked about how deep the water was, because I guess, in other words, it meant balls deep.
Yeah.
But usually I'll tell people it means waist deep.
Yeah.
So,
Oconaluftee.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And so they're talking about the river, and that's how high it was.
Interesting.
So that's the name of it.
Yeah.
And then it leads into the Tuckasegee River.
Okay.
And eventually somehow makes its way to the Mississippi River.
Wow. Okay.
So that's how we got around.
Yeah.
A lot of times. Going south, especially. Going north.
Yep.
So we were all over.
Cool.
And oftentimes we would trade for things like materials.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have seashells out here, but we know tribes out by the coast or even up north that might have a way to get them.
Yeah.
So we would take them something that they don't have up there.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a certain type of stone.
Bring back something. Yeah.
Like some type of stone they don't have up there.
Yeah.
So we take what we have and take it up there when they would bring their shell here. Or we just meet them halfway or whatever.
And swap. Yeah.
And so back then, when it came to talking with the other tribes, like conversing with them, we didn't speak the same language. So there was a language that was established, I believe it was called the Mobilian language. And it was supposedly a mixture of tribes' languages to be able to communicate with one another. Like, it wasn't like, speaking just Cherokee or speaking just Iroquois Mohawk.
No, it was a common language.
You knew enough to
Yeah.
understand what someone wanted.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like caveman grunting or anything like that.
Cool. Thanks for sharing.